Are you looking for an affordable train simulator? One with a solid variety of trains and service types? With a fun, engaging route that's always a blast to play on? And a game that's still under active development, courtesy of a committed solo developer? Well, look no further because Train Crew has you covered. Okay, no more announcer voice. I just want to make a short little video dedicated to showcasing what I think is the best train simulator on the market right now. As an overview, Train Crew is a game developed by the solo developer Mizutsuki Rail. It focuses on a fictional Japanese private railway company, the Tatahama Railway. The Tatahama isn't one-to-one inspired by any particular company, although you can definitely notice similarities and points of comparison around the place. There's both a driver and conductor mode, as well as a range of passenger service types to learn and master. This includes all-stop locals, a range of express types, as well as limited express trains which make very few stops, for even a few out-of-service runs to enjoy. If you're familiar with the likes of Densha Dego, you'll definitely recognise this style of gameplay. But I do think there's a lot more freedom in Train Crew compared to Densha, or JRE Simulator, which is definitely a point in its favour to me. From there, the general gameplay loop is simply keeping to the timetable, mastering each and every stop, and generally just improving your score over time. Now, I must stress, this game is fun even if you're not chasing high scores. There's enough to do here that a casual run without a care for getting it perfect is still a blast. But this scoring system really is the glue that makes this game outstanding. The two big areas it focuses on is stopping position and time, and I find the process of mastering those two things to be really engaging. It's a hook that other train simulators that don't really track how well you drive aren't able to have. Perfecting the timetable, for example, is a fun puzzle. Simply going top speeds for the entire run typically isn't actually the way to keep to the timetable, as you'll arrive at stations too early. So coasting and figuring out when to apply the throttle is actually a good skill to learn in this game. In regards to stopping position, there's a lot that goes into mastering those 0 centimeter stops. How strong your brakes are vary quite heavily from train to train. The newer trains of the bunch have strong electric brakes, while old ones have air brakes that are weaker but offer a greater level of precision. Even within the same types of trains, there are subtle differences. The 4300, for example, is slightly weaker than the 5300, with a slight delay as to when the brakes activate. Plus, the length of your train determines when you need to start braking. Your muscle memory is constantly being challenged in this game, and that's quite fun in my opinion. If you're brave enough to drive without the hood, then you'll be challenged by the 4300 and its fancy digital speedometer. It must have been very advanced for the 90s, but unfortunately it actually makes figuring out your exact precise speeds a lot harder. Even though these trains are fictional, there's a lot of work gone into making them feel authentic and even flawed. And mastering them all, one by one, is a lot of fun. And then there's other things that make driving and stopping engaging. The signalling system of this game is very well thought out, with certain signal aspects giving you hard speed restrictions via ATS. Predicting these aspects ahead of time is just another thing to learn, something that makes one run different from a similar one. And don't forget about gradients. You're not stopping at a bunch of stations on flat ground here. Even a small incline can significantly change how you stop at a station. And the cherry on top is that braking patterns are also tracked. If you want the top score, you need to learn a 2-3 braking pattern. That is, 2 increases of the brake and 3 decreases. That does sound scary, but it does mean you need to be a lot more precise and considerate when it comes to braking, as opposed to just toggling your brake up and down. It's just one more skill to learn. But putting it all together with timeliness and all the factors that go into getting the perfect brake, it enables the game to strike the right balance between being casual and competitive. You can relax if you want, but also go for the high scores if you feel like it. And it's that level of gameplay engagement that I think sets it above many other simulation games. But no matter why you play train simulators or cozy games, I think you'll find something in this one to really enjoy. That is my big thesis as to why this game is great, so here's some rapid fire smaller things I really like too. Passenger behaviour is actually reasonably realistic. They wait on the platform, get off and off the train without teleporting, and leave the station. Sure, they're a bit robotic, but they do it. Passenger behaviour is something lots of train simulators neglect, so it's cool to see this game do it well. They even start running if you're about to depart and get sad if they miss you, which is great. The Tatahama Railway itself is a very good route that is just plain fun to drive. I know the fact that it's fictional might be a turn off for some, but I think being fictional allows the route to always be challenging and never monotonous. The stops and scenery are always varied, but still manage to feel realistic. Many stations have platforms that serve as passing loops. If you're driving a slower service, then that changes how you approach some stations on some runs. Some runs start or end in a siding or depot. There's even a station here with a short platform, making stopping there with a 6-car train very interesting. As you can probably see by now, the graphics in this game are quite limited, but presentation is still a strong suit. It feels authentic to Japanese railway culture, plus the music is great. I also give props to some of the world building elements in this game. It feels like there's a real history to the Tatahama Railway and its rolling stock. There's one part of the route where it tunnels through a mountain and you can clearly see where the old, much curvier line was. The company's rolling stock evolves from old to new in a way that makes technological sense. If you look along the 3000 series, the oldest train type in the game, you'll notice that they have dead cabs in the middle of their consists, indicating that at some point, this 6-car train was built by merging the cars of smaller trains together, Melbourne Hitachi set style. Little stuff like that just helps to make the Tatahama Railway feel alive. And finally, for the best quality of life feature in a train simulator game, if you're waiting on a platform for more than 30 seconds, there's a fast forwards feature. If you weren't convinced that this game isn't the best train simulator before now, I hope that solidified it. And the future for this game does look bright. On the official roadmap, we have some new limited express trains to look forward to, as well as co-op multiplayer, allowing you and a friend to share conducting and driving duties together. And of course, more route extensions is coming. The current ambition is that the entire mountainous section of the Tatahama Railway will be completed. Whether or not the full length of the line, covering the very urban area to the east, will be complete still seems to be a matter of whether or not the developers burnt out by then. But I think that even if the route ends at Oji, this will still be a very complete feeling game. It's very cheap and affordable on Steam, so I don't think there's any reason to miss on this game if you are interested in train simulators in any way whatsoever. No sponsorship, just go check it out and thank you.